demanding.
In a world where local musicians and artists are unrated, underappreciated, unnoticed, battered, abused, and swept under the rug.
Living show to show without secure benefits like medieval jesters.
Run with the kittens.
You're actually listening to it right now. I played a song for my hamster that just died.
Like, absolutely.
I lied.
Underplayed and underpaid.
Real local music.
Use what you have.
All the canned rock stuff. And the canned rock stuff, too.
Chuck went around.
We won't get into that.
That's a good thing.
Mondays at 6 p.m.
What was special to me, really cool, amazing, incredible. Like, I need to rise up to this level.
Phenomenal.
Definitely incredible.
Probably the coolest.
Strong. You're a peopleaholic.
Oh.
Wow, you're killing me.
I'll try not to swear.
CFRU 93.3.
Wow, the food was
Delicious.
had a smorgasbord of awesomeness.
It's not your regular breakfast sausage.
I also ate some cocktail wieners and drank some melon liqueur one morning very early on the tour bus.
Good day, Guelph community and campus. It's Brian McNeil, and this is Underplayed and Underpaid. Sorry that we have to start at 6:05 p.m. I mean, the BBC's kind of takes my legs out from under me when I'm getting ready to do a radio show. So, as it is, Braden said he's going to show up. It's the return of Braden Johnson, or the return of the BJ. And he should be here sometime soon, so I'm just going to wing it until then. Of course, I'm going to play some Run With The Kittens, as they will be back in town on Friday. That's Friday at the Jimmy Jazz. No cover. It's they do a pay what you want, kind of like a donation thing. When at the end of the first set, Nate Mills runs around and he runs around with a pitcher, an empty pitcher that people fill with coins and $5 bills, and sometimes the odd 10. So come out, support your local. Well, not really local. They're from Parkdale, but I mean, Nate Mills is from Orangeville, I believe, as I was told by a regular hipster at Jimmy Jazz that I see every time the Kittens play. So, yeah. Also, I want to say nobody contacted me over the last couple weeks about doing an interview with their band, and well, that kind of makes our show a little hard to do. I think I've done a pretty good job at running around and contacting artists and doing interviews and promoting them for free. So if you are in a band, if you're a singer-songwriter, or if you even know a band, why don't you give me a shout at BRYAN CFRU. That's Brian CFRU, all one word, at gmail.com. And we can set up doing an interview, and I can promote you. I like doing it. It's just nobody wants to be promoted, it seems, or, well, either that or nobody's listening. So, without further ado, let's get into and I've not played this album yet by Run With The Kittens. It's called Condos and Lofts, and it's very swing, very jazz, very, very cool. That's all I really should say about it. I'll let the album speak for itself. So, here we go with, the first song is called Proximity. The second will be El Martino, and third song is Like a Leonard how could I screw that up? Like a Leonard Cohen novel. I apologize to all Leonard Cohen fans out there. All right, well, here we go. CFRU 93.3.
This ain't no disco. This ain't no nudie bar. No, this is Las Vegas!
Look at your toes, feet are ashamed. Another raisin on your cake. Oh, feed the hungry. dopamine, medicine, like a Leonard Cohen novel. Like a Leonard Cohen novel. Got your short space in your head cheese. Got your toupee blowing in the breeze. Got your blowing in the breeze. Got your big smile, last a long while, treating me like a stepchild. Dopamine, medicine, like a Leonard Cohen novel. Like a Leonard Cohen novel. The grass is greener and the people are meaner in Parkdale. I said Parkdale. The rock is cooking and there ain't nobody booking in Parkdale. I said Parkdale. Hey, Miss, can you spare a dime? My train leaves at 9 and I got to get out of this moldy old dirty old dollar store Parkdale. Children are playing, if you know what I'm saying, in Parkdale. I said Parkdale. Streetcars are running and he's got a gun and we're in Parkdale. I said Parkdale. Hey, Miss, can you spare a dime? My train leaves at 9 and I got to get out of this moldy old dirty old dollar store Parkdale. Take me to Parkdale, Champagne. He's looking strange. He's bumming change in Parkdale. I said Parkdale. Dollar stores and discount whores in Parkdale. I said Parkdale. Hey, Miss, can you spare a dime? My train leaves at 9 and I got to get out of this moldy old dirty old dollar store Parkdale. Parkdale.
Welcome back. This is Underplayed and Underpaid. I gotta stop that so that we don't run through the entire city. But yeah, fun CD called Cradles and Lofts, or Condos and Lofts from Run with the Kittens, who are going to be, again, at the Jimmy Jazz this Friday. Usually they kick off at 11 o'clock. So, upcoming events, if you guys want to know what's going on, check out musiclives.ca. It's a fantastic website that really tells you what's going on downtown. And, of course, tonight, Paul McLeod. Of course, tomorrow night, Derek Hines Quartet. That's a live jazz quartet at Van Gozier. Great time. I mean, he's actually performed with Nat Cole's brother, and various other people. You can always find the archive for Underplayed and Underpaid and check out the interview. So, in the studio, surprise to everyone, Braden Johnson is here. How you doing today, Braden?
I am doing quite well. It's good to be back.
Right on. And what are you bringing us today?
So I have an interview with Patrick McCauley. He just came out with a new album, so we will play some songs from that album, and we'll play the interview with Patrick. The album is called May These Seeds Grow With Ease, and it's a really good album. I encourage you to check it out. And,
right on. What style of music is Patrick McCauley?
well, I asked him that in the interview, and
Okay.
so it's all explained there. But I would say, for my own listen, I would say that he's just himself.
He's just himself.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it to anything beyond that. So
that's refreshing. All right, so I guess we're going to play song number 8. What's the name of it?
But yeah, this is Patrick McCauley and his band. So we're going to play the song Clementines off the album May These Seeds Grow With Ease by Patrick McCauley.
On 93.3 CFRU. Hold on a sec. We're going to have to redo that. Got to re-cue that. And
so, yeah, also, it's mentioned in the interview that Patrick has a show coming up. It's November 6th at the E-Bar. There's actually quite a few great shows going on at the E-Bar coming up in the next month or so. A lot of, it's Fortnite.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's a lot of their artists and a lot of good shows. So
Right on.
I'm sure you can find it and check out the list of who's playing. There's a lot of great people.
Right on. All right, well, we are queued up now.
All right, so this is, again, the song Clementines.
Clementines.
By Patrick McCauley.
On 93.3 CFRU.
lack of reticence China's internet
This is Braden Johnson for Underpaid and Underplayed. Today we have Patrick, and we're going to talk about his new album, some of his music, and get to know him and his music a little bit better. So, first of all, I guess, what's the name of your band?
Well, it's Patrick McCauley and the Wandering Bones.
Okay, and how long have you been together? How long have you been making music?
We've been together solidly for, I'd say, about 6 months maybe. We started playing together, a few of the original members last year, but I stopped it so I could make the album because I was having trouble communicating what I wanted the music to actually sound like.
Okay.
And so I decided to stop it, make the album to find the sound that I actually wanted, and then go back to them and say, this is what I want. Let's play this. And now we're getting to the point where we're actually doing a collaborative musical creative process. So we've become a lot more comfortable with each other, and it's a lot much more tighter scenario. So.
And who are the band members? What are the names?
The band members are there's Dan Becking on lead guitar, Andrew Liordi on keys, Andrew Hand on bass, and Will Culbert on drums.
And you are the...
I'm the lead vocalist and songwriter and guitarist.
Okay. And so when did you start playing music yourself, and when did you start playing music with the band?
Started playing music in grade 7, and started writing music probably midway through high school, probably around grade 10 or 11. And then I started around that time also playing in bands, but after high school I stopped playing music in bands until this past year, and I'm now getting back into it.
Okay, and how long ago did you start writing your own music as opposed to playing? Did you start writing your own music as soon as you started to play and practice? Did you learn from other people and do a lot of covers?
That's how I learned, was learning covers. To get good at guitar, I learned songs by bands like Metallica and Led Zeppelin, Stevie Ray Vaughan, things like that. And then midway through high school, I started writing my own songs, just as an outlet of my own thoughts and artistic expression. And yeah, from that point on, I just started growing as a musician and a songwriter.
Who would you say your biggest musical influences are for yourself and the band?
For the band, I couldn't really say. We all have very different tastes, but we are able to collaborate effectively. But for me, I would say bands like Radiohead, Tool, Elliott Smith, and a lot of old rock bands like Pink Floyd and Jethro Tull.
Okay. And do you feel like you write music for yourself as much as you write it for other people that they can relate to it? Or do you use music as an expression to try to, I guess, get your thoughts out?
Get my thoughts out. It's definitely, I like to think of it as a balance, but it definitely sways in either direction of it being for me and also for the listener. But this album is definitely a balance of that. It's all things I've come to learn through the past few years of my life and have come to understand things about. And I've taken the songs and put them in a form where I feel like they are accessible for other people and can be used to help them if they haven't come across these trials in life yet.
And how would you describe your music to other people?
Simply, I would say that if I would give it a genre, I would just say progressive rock, just to make them not ask any more questions about it. But it's an extension of myself, so there's many different influences in my life, many different interests that I have, especially in music, so it comes out in the music that I make, in different stylings and different songwriting forms and sounds and yeah, it's each song is completely different from the last song because I also get bored with writing the same kind of music, so I always try and keep something new on the burner.
Would you say that there's a theme to the new album?
Yeah, definitely. It's called May These Seeds Grow With Ease, which it goes along with the whole passing my understandings on to other people to maybe help them with their own issues and troubles and struggles.
And how does this album differ from other music that you've written?
It's much more mature. It's centered. It's professional sounding.
And so your music has changed over the years, you would say, and why do you think it's changed?
It's definitely changed to coincide with my maturity and my growth as a person. And also just learning different styles of music and being influenced by different things has caused me to check into different songwriting styles and ways of making music.
So could you tell us a little bit more about the new album? You mentioned that you had some rough patches and some difficulties in getting it off the ground. Can you tell us about that?
Totally. Well, my producer and I started recording it in December of last year. And around March, we were finishing up recording. Almost all the recording was done, and we were ready to do the mixing, mastering, final touches. And it was about March 10th or something like that. I get a call from my producer saying that he's got some really bad news. And I didn't register at first, and I was like, what kind of bad news? And he says, the worst kind of bad news. So I figured that the hard drives had crashed or something like that, and the album was gone. But he said that the studio had gotten broken into, and all 3 of the hard drives in the house were stolen. So the one we were using, the backup, and someone else's hard drive was gone, along with other musical equipment. And so, yeah, the album was gone, and we had to start fresh again in March.
So do you think that was beneficial to the album? You had a fresh start knowing what you already had accomplished and what you wanted to do, or do you think it was a hindrance to the development of the album?
Well, I'm definitely not the kind of person who looks at past events negatively, even if it was a negative experience at the time, because when it happened, I wanted to die. Like, it was the worst. Yeah. It was everything I'd worked for and more for. I put all my time into it, and it was taken away. But I look back on it, and it was definitely a positive experience in the end, because I did have the practice of doing it the first time around. Because the first time we did it was my first studio experience, so it was a little rough. My timing wasn't always right. It took a bit longer. Second time around, it was much smoother. We knew what we wanted to do, and came across some new ideas that made it 10 times better than it would have been before. So yeah, definitely a positive experience in the end.
Good.
For me, I can't say that for my producer, though. He lost a lot of work.
So what would you say are your short-term music goals, if any, and what are your long-term music goals as a solo artist and as a band?
Try and progress as much as possible, promote the album as much as we can, and since things are going so well with the band, I'm really excited to work collaboratively with them for the next album with that musical process, because I had been afraid of it for so long because I hadn't been able to find a good net of people that would be able to do that with me, where we could work together and make the songs together. So that, I think, is my goal for the next album, to be able to make an album as a band and not just myself.
And how would you define the word success? What would be success to you as a musician?
Connecting with people and having people come up to me after a show and saying that they listened to the album and then they learned something from it, or they got something from it, they thought it was beautiful. every day someone says something like that to me, I consider that a little bit of success. So it doesn't matter how many people do that. It's just the occurrence of that makes me feel like I'm doing the right thing. So.
And where is your next show for the album?
The release for the album is at the E-Bar on November 6th. And my friend Rob Pearson, also known as Rags on the stage, is opening up for me. And he's one of my really good friends, great solo musician, and yeah, it's going to be a great show.
Okay, do you get nervous when you perform? And has this changed over time, performing more?
Yeah, it used to be a horrendous experience for me, but nowadays it's a lot easier, especially playing solo performances. I don't get that nervous, but since shows with the band, I've only had one so far with the band, and after the CD release is where we're going to actually start playing shows all the time. I'm going to be pretty nervous for the CD release, for sure, but we're practicing a lot beforehand, so it's going to be second nature for us. So whether we're nervous or not, it's still going to go well, I'd say.
That makes sense. Are there any interesting stories from a show or any time you've performed, anything stand out?
I don't know. Solo performances are pretty chill. It's not very often that something crazy occurs.
No girls have ripped off their shirts and thrown them at you.
Well, a friend of mine did that. Yeah, no, I got a funny one. My friend, I guess I won't say her name, but she, I was playing a house show, and she told me that she was gonna lift her shirt when I was playing, and I didn't believe her. But even if I did believe her and was watching and waiting for it, I always play with my eyes closed, or for the most parts. And she did it, but I had no idea through the whole time. I think someone else did it too, but yeah, it never even occurred to me.
So you play with your eyes closed, you said.
Yeah.
Why do you think you do that? Is it a natural reaction when you're performing?
It is. I don't know when I started developing it, but it's a focus thing, I'm pretty sure. But I've been trying to get myself out of it. So since now I'm playing with the band, it's really good to be making eye contact with the other musicians to know that everyone's on cue, everyone knows what part we're at. If there's any confusion, we can remedy it with some eye contact. And so with the band now, I'm starting to play with my eyes more often. So I think it's going to be a less of an occurrence with the band.
So you won't miss...
Not anymore. No more flashing ladies who give you missed by me.
And so where can people find your music if they were out searching for it?
They can get it on iTunes if they don't feel like leaving their house. They can get it at Ground Floor Music here in Guelph, Beat Goes On here in Guelph, and also at the Bookshelf here in Guelph. Okay.
And are there any specific people that you would like to mention or thank for the album?
Well, I'd have to thank Mark Rodford and the Cornerstone, because he, through working for him, he pretty much gave me all the money that went towards making the album. My parents, family, everyone who influenced the songs on the album. There's a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of situations, and they, for the most part, know who they are.
And so I guess you would not like to thank the people that stole the hard drive and the computers. But if it ended up working out for the best, maybe...
Yeah, well, I'm gonna say that it was a positive experience in the end, but I'm definitely not gonna go and shake the guy's hand. For sure not.
All right. So, is there anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
I just hope that everyone comes out to the show, enjoys the music. If they can't come to the show, either listen to my music on CBC3. I've got a page up there. Just search Patrick McCauley, and yeah, if you want to buy my album, please do. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, so thanks for being on the show, and we'll look forward to hearing more from you.
Awesome, thanks, man.
So that was Patrick McCauley from the album May These Seeds Grow With Ease with the song The Experience. We just had an interview with Patrick, and I hope you enjoyed his music. He's actually doing a show November 6th at the E-Bar, so go check him out. And as always, support local music and local artists.
Yeah, and while you're there, say what up to Dino, DJ, what was the name? DJ Dino, I believe. He's now the manager of the E-Bar. Good guy. Hopefully we can do an interview with him too. It's kind of funny too when I say hopefully we can do an interview with somebody, they never get a hold of us.
Even if you just want to hang out with us, like, we don't have to record it. We can just sort of talk, and
we're a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's better to talk to people in real life because then they can talk back to you.
Talk back's always good.
Yeah. All right, so there's some stuff going on in the near future, music-wise and locally, and we're just going to give you a little lowdown on that from musiclives.ca. So
yeah, all right. So on Tuesday, not only is Derek Hines in the quartet playing over at Van Gogh's, but Mike Something is at Doogie's and Pablo's. That'll be 2 sets with the Test Icicles. The guy Mike Something from the Test Icicles. That's rather interesting. I mean, well done. Good name. Environmental Sciences and Symposium Band, night fundraiser with Guelph bands, Inlet Sound, Your Neck of the Woods, Pure Joy, formerly Texting Mackenzie, and more. That starts at 7 p.m. on Wednesday at the Albion. So you might want to check that out if you're into supporting it.
Yeah, October 5th, so 2 days.
All right. And, of course, D. Eve Archer is doing the open stage at Envy Lounge on Wednesday also. I think it kicks off at 9 p.m. Soul singer, funk. Usually she got like Attila and the boys playing some interesting instrumentals, or she might just be sitting there with the piano. What else is going on as I scroll down here? Kazoo presents Rouge. I wonder if that has anything to do with the Kazoo Fest. And they're going to be on Thursday at the E-Bar starting at 9:30, an $8 cover. Open mic with Kent, Molly Blooms. That's on Thursdays. All right, let's just scroll down here. Check out musiclives.ca. There's a lot of awesome stuff going on.
Also, the Dayglow abortions are coming too.
Yes.
They were here pretty recently, I think in the spring.
I
believe.
It wasn't them that Unleash the Archers were opening for, was it?
You know what? My memory doesn't go past about July, so...
My memory doesn't go past yesterday. All right, so Canadian Punk Veterans Dayglow Abortions with guests Taranchuja. Is that how you say that? Noise and Noise and the Nasties. Starting at 4:30, done by 9 p.m. So that means you got to get out early on Saturday at the Ward Skate Park. I believe that's out... Oh, no, that's at Victoria and Elizabeth, or Victoria and York. So, yeah, check that out. That'll be a fun show. Open stage with Nate Coles every Sunday. Yada, yada.
And, of course, Paul McLeod, Monday nights at the Jimmy Jazz.
Every Monday. Come hang out with, myself or both of us. If Braden can make it out, he's now a student, so he's very busy boy.
So, again, I would just like to thank Patrick McCauley for being on the show. It was a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to your show on November 6th at the E-Bar, so...
Yeah, man. Everybody have yourselves a good week, and we'll see you next week on Underplayed and Underpaid.
Your opportunity.